Hi everyone, a special treat today. We are going to cover a sword that's been lent to me for brief review. This is from a friend, Sword of Damokles, hey buddy, and this is a really lovely sword. This is from Valiant Armory, and it's the Irish ring pommel arming sword. I think that's what it's called. So let's take a look at it. This is a really fun example, and like most things from Valiant Armory, it comes with a really lovely scabbard in addition to the blade itself. So taking a look down it, it's got a leather scabbard that comes with associated sword belt. I'll just pull the belt off for a second. You can see that the belt itself is reasonably fancy. It has this fun little uh, um, engraving that runs down the length of it, and it has plenty of adjustments for a kind of modern made belt buckle design. Editor's note, I may have inadvertently suggested that this type of frame style buckle with a buckle and prod is a modern design. It is not. It goes back to at least the 8th century. That may not have been fair to the craftsmen at Valiant Armory. To be able to wear very easily, it's got a staggered attachment point to be able to wear, so not necessarily the most traditional style for wear of an arming sword, and it has a intricate interaction with the way that it has raised leather um, attachments along the length of the scabbard. Scabbard leather itself is very nicely done. The seam, I don't even see that it's stitched. It may just be, if the stitches are done, the stitches are done so beautifully that I can't tell how they're put together. So it may just be attached by adhesive. It may just be glued together, which was done historically in some cases. It has a very lovely floral pattern, or I guess they're leaves rather than flowers, but it's got this nice kind of reminder of the green, the Emerald Isle, I guess you could say, and it has a simple but handsome um, shape here at the end. This particular design here, before we open it up, we'll just take a quick look at the hilt. So this particular design of sword is very characteristic of what are specifically Gaelic Irish swords. There's a famous paper that covers swords of Ireland that are grouped into 3 different periods: first group, second group, third group. It belongs to group number 3 and are characteristic of swords that are dated basically to the 16th century. You have an open wheel pommel, and this isn't exactly a style that I've seen specifically, but it intones the same idea where you have flared quillons on the end that are also in a kind of S-shaped design, so they're curved left and right. Here, we'll pull the sword out now that we've seen the scabbard, and again, the scabbard is again very nicely done. Anytime you have a Valiant Armory sword where the scabbard is included, it's light, it's tight, it's very finely done. So the work that Valiant Armory does, you get very nice scabbards for their price point, I'd say. So dispensing with that and looking at the sword itself. So the sword here, now that we can see the whole thing, the sword is how long? So the sword is a 30.5-inch blade, so not a particularly long arming sword, so a medium-sized length arming sword. This particular type I would probably call an Oakshot Type 12. That there's of course a debate to be made about that, especially with those that whole classification in the early kind of numbering system. It All of the pieces are really, really nicely done. The lines on all of the furniture are so clean and precise. I am not sure offhand if they CNC their pieces. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that they do, just because the every single line is so clinically done that this is kind of like Albion level of clinical um, orthogonal style direction here. Very clean. The fuller is straight and in line. It doesn't deviate any bit. The width is consistent all the way along the edge. This is a second-hand blade, but there's no sign of marring to the surface or the edge. The point is directly in line. The all of the fit and finish, all of the fittings are tight. The blade has really good presence in the hand. I'm curious to see if it sings. Has a little bit of a sing, not too much of a sing to it. And it's just a handsome sword. I'll put up the dynamics, the weapons dynamics computer in it. But there's for its size, there's a decent amount of mass here in the hilt, so you have pretty good control of it, and it wants to remain kind of in position in your hand, and you can give authoritative chops with it. We can show some cutting footage very briefly. And you can see, even though I didn't want to take it out for too long, I had no problem delivering cuts against light targets. The blade is just below, I'd say, paper cutting sharp. I can do it. We can do a test very quickly. And it doesn't quite, it doesn't, just misses cutting paper. But because of the thinness of the blade, and because the geometry is so good, even without the final apexing on the edge, it has no problem. It just very easily sails through the target. The handling of the blade is great. The thinness of the final edge, the position where it flexes with good distal taper, all make this a very handsome and very easy to use sword. The grip is, again, braided, so it's leather that's been cord wrapped. It's got 2 risers on it, and it is very comfortable in the hand. The fittings, as I mentioned before, now that we're zooming in on them, are all machine precise. And to be honest, if you're not careful when handling it, they are precise enough that you actually risk catching the edges, and they're not quite sharp enough that they become a cutting hazard, but they are uncomfortable. And if you caught yourself with significant force, you might be able to draw blood with them. That said, because of the position of your hand, there's no real risk of that. You're never in a position where you're going to catch the quillon on yourself. The quillon always turns away from you on the near side, so it would be a very unusual circumstance for you to find yourself caught on that. But it is something to still be aware of as you're just handling the sword on your own. So on the whole, this is a really beautiful sword. I believe that the price is exactly what I'm showing on the screen, and in my opinion, it reflects the price point that Valiant Armory is putting up for it. You're paying a lot, but you expect high quality, and this is a very high quality sword. It shows high attention to detail. It's high fidelity. It's perhaps not the most 100% historically accurate. It's not based on a specific museum find, but its performance is great, and aesthetically it looks wonderful. So if this speaks to you, I would certainly give them a call and see if you could find one of their offerings. So that's all for this quick review of the Valiant Armory sword. Until next time, take care.